Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you our NFL Week 1 preview between the Seattle Seahawks and the Carolina Panthers. Now let's take a look at some keys to victory for both teams, starting with the Panthers.
The Panthers on offense can create a lot of problems for a defense. The way they can run the football, they're very physical at the point of attack, and Cam Newton should continue to progress in his third season as one of the top passers in the National Football League. But the defense stepped up big time in the preseason, especially in the front seven. When you look at their defensive line, both Starlo Tulele and Kawan Short, two rookies, they should do a great job penetrating and creating opportunities on the edge for both Charles Johnson and Greg Hardy. Their linebacking core is very tough, led by Luke Kuechly, but the question marks I have about this football team lie on the flanks, both on the defensive side with the cornerbacks and safeties and the receiving core. Those are slight question marks going into the 2013 season. Armed with a power running game and a sensational young quarterback and an aggressive defense, there's a lot to like about the Seattle Seahawks. Balance will be the key, not only in this ball game, but throughout the course of the season for these guys to be successful. A fast defense that does an excellent job in applying pressure can't allow themselves to lose contained versus Carolina, and third down defense must be on point this week. Otherwise, the Panthers could move the football up and down the field with that running game and operating off play action, and they were one of the better teams in the red zone last season. So the Seattle Seahawks, it's imperative that they not only keep contained, but also get these guys off the field on third downs.
In order to combat an over-aggressive defense, like the Seattle Seahawks, you have to look at the Carolina Panthers utilizing misdirection. And I do think they have a guy in the backfield in Kenyon Barner that can be effective this week versus Seattle. You want to incorporate some Oregon concepts of getting your big-time playmakers in space. We're going to show you two trap plays, or two misdirection plays that can run. This one is going to be called H-counter. So we're going to call this H-counter. And this is your H back right here, Kenyon Barner. We have him in the slide. You see right there, we go single back with Kenyon Barner, your standard 4-3. So what we're going to do, this is how we're going to block it. We're going to block the tackle. Tackle's going to get that in. He's going to kick him out. We're going to have the center block down on that defensive tackle. We're going to have these two guys combo to the backer. Combo block this defensive tackle, get up to the middle backer. We're going to leave this guy unblocked as the tight end will go up and block the strong side backer, and the receiver will go and block that strong safety. So we're going to have Cam Newton open out, fake the handoff to the back in the backfield, which should hold this weak side backer, and is going to hand this ball off to Kenyon Barner. But we're going to bring this weak side guard over to kick out that end, and Kenyon Barner hits it quick in the hole, and that should spring a big play because you're going to get this guy blocked with his receiver, and Kenyon Barner can hit it quick on the trap. Now I'm going to show you another example of a trap play they can utilize by putting Barner in the backfield. Now in this play, we're going to call this 25 trap. Why? We're trapping the 5 hole, which is right here. We're going to trap this guy right here. Got Kenyon Barner in the backfield now, and everything is the same, blocking up. But here's how we're going to do it. This play gives the illusion of the strong side pitch. So we're going to have Cam reverse out, and he's going to hand it off to Kenyon Barner here. But we're going to show you how we're going to block it up. Play side tackle will go up and get that weak side backer, get him blocked. We're going to have these two guys combo to the middle backer, get that guy blocked. You don't want him scraping over, making a tackle. And here's where the trap is going to come. We're going to have him big on big, backside guard, backside tackle, is going to come around and kick out that end, trapping him as he flies up the football field, creating Kenyon Barner the ability to go underneath. You don't worry about this backer. He's out of the play because he's going to get lost in the trash. So you see where Cam can reverse pivot, hold that linebacker with the fake pitch. That's going to hold him. He's going to fly here, try to attack that pitch. And that's when you hit Kenyon Barner on the back end, trapping the defensive end on the weak side. So those are some type of plays the Panthers can utilize this week versus an aggressive defense in the Seattle Seahawks to get themselves in position to make big plays in the running game. The Seattle Seahawks have the unique advantage of having safeties as well as cornerbacks that can man up one-on-one on wide receivers and tight ends. They're going against an offense in Carolina that really only has Steve Smith and Greg Olsen, no real proven number 2. So I think they can play aggressive in an 8-man front and still be well protected on the back end. By applying pressure in that defense, I think they can have some success versus Carolina. We're going to show you how they can apply that pressure in that 8-man front by being aggressive. We're going to show you right now what we're going to call an over blitz cover 0, which means no safety back deep. And the only teams that really can get away with this are teams like the Seattle Seahawks. So we're going to draw this up. You're going to have your corner playing off, obviously, playing inside. He's going to have that inside position because he's going to use the sideline as his friend. This cornerback over here is splitting the wide receiver down the middle, head up on the wide receiver. Now you have your end, going to have your tackle. Your end is going to be inside. Splitting these two right here. You're going to have your strong safety just on the outside shoulder, just on the outside leg of the end. We're going to have a backer in the middle. The backer over here. You're going to have your free safety in the hole. So you see where we're getting aggressive in an 8-man front. We're also going to bring a weak side backer here on the outside. So it gives the Panthers a lot to think about. You got an aggressive 8-man front, but you have guys that can match up one-on-one with those wide receivers. Now, the over blitz is where we're going to come from the strong side. And what has to happen is it's a strong safety and a weak side backer blitz. So what you have the weak side backer coming on the edge. We're going to have the defensive end crashing inside, creating that lane. And it's a D gap blitz. These two guys are responsible for the D gap. So that's what you're doing here. You're bringing this guy outside. The end is going to crash in that gap, creating that pressure right there. You also want to have the two tackles maintaining the line of scrimmage, keeping their way. And you have these guys are going to be responsible in coverage. Since it's a D gap blitz cover 0, you have the free safety responsible for the tight end. You have this backer responsible for the backer to his strong side, and that linebacker responsible for that backer to the weak side. So that's your over blitz cover 0. It's a D gap blitz where the weak side backer and the strong safety are blitzing, but they're controlling the B gap. And this is a great run blitz versus the Carolina Panthers. Now I'm about to show you what a weak side blitz look like, which would be great versus the pass. Now here's what we're going to call a weak dog blitz. And it's coming from the weak side. Tight end on the strong side designates the weak side, and it's cover 0 again. So you're putting a lot of pressure on these cornerbacks and safeties to make sure they hold up their end of the bargain in coverage. So now the coverage responsibilities change. You still have the cornerbacks responsible for their receivers on their side. That's easy. And then you have the strong safety now responsible. He's going to be responsible for the back in the backfield. So this is his man right here. Free safety is now responsible for the tight end to his side, and we're bringing pressure weak side. So what we're going to do, we're going to crash the end on the outside. He's responsible for that outside containment. Weak side backer is coming as well. Tackle is going to shoot that A gap, as well as the middle backer shooting the opposite end of that A gap. And that's what you want. You want to create that pressure here. Tackle is shooting that gap right there. This is great versus the pass. And what's going to happen? That backer is responsible for the back to the weak side. So it's a great pass defense. We showed you a run blitz type of situation for Seattle to be successful. So this is how they can have a chance versus the Carolina Panthers based on their personnel, but also playing off the Panthers personnel.
And here are some coaching points for both teams in this matchup. For the Seahawks, you want to utilize that screen game to help calm the pass rush of the Carolina Panthers. You have an outstanding running back in the backfield and Marshawn Lynch, who has very underrated hands in catching the football. Give your offense a chance by getting those backs out there in the flats. And you also look at shading coverage towards Steve Smith. You want to take away their best option and force those other wide receivers to consistently make plays. And your own tight end, Zach Miller, I would keep him off the line of scrimmage, so that way he can get a free release off the line of scrimmage to help attack the seams in that defense. And also in the running game, he can help you seal the edge by getting a better angle on those defensive ends and linebackers. And for the Panthers in this ballgame, the ace formation would be ideal. That way you're balanced to both sides. That's 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, 1 back in the backfield, and you can get creative in how you put these guys in motion, or whether you go with your standard ace set. I think that's the best way to run the football versus Seattle. Widens out that defense and gives you better angles in the run blocking department. And you want to build Brandon LaFell's confidence early by getting him the football early in the ball game. Get that guy going on some short passes, some slants, some hitches, so that way he can build his confidence. And you want to win in the trenches. You got to be able to win up front on both sides of the ball. And on defense, I would actually pressure the right side with Sweezy and also Giacomini. Get those guys pass protected. I think you can have a chance to get some pressure on Russell Wilson if you come front side with it. The X factor in this ball game for the Panthers will be the safeties. The Seattle Seahawks put a lot of pressure on your safeties, both in run support as well as in pass coverage. They're going to have to step up and have a big day in order for the Panthers to come away victorious. The X factor for the Seahawks will be that offensive line and pass protection. A lot of times, Russell Wilson was under duress and his legs got him out of trouble, and he was able to find plays downfield. That offensive line has to do a better job this time around in protecting Russell Wilson. I like the Seahawks in this ball game. This will be a defensive battle, and in my opinion, both offenses will be stymied somewhat by both defenses, and I think they will have to break tendencies in order to be successful. And in that case, I can trust the Seahawks passing game more so than I can trust the Panthers passing attack in this one. And I want to send a huge shout out to Seahawks fan forums and Panther fan forums for always showing football game plan support.